Okay, generally, interest on the principal in a savings account or a short-term or long-term deposit interest is generally calculated using something called compound interest rather than simple interest. Compound interest can be calculated by calculating simple interest one period at a time, which we're going to do in this worked example, or there is then a formula that can be used, which is the more normal way to calculate compound interest. So let's look at this example here, and it says that Kina invests $8,000 at 8% per annum for 3 years with interest paid at the end of each year. Find the compounded value of the investment by calculating the simple interest on each year separately. So in other words, what we do is we work out the simple interest for each year, P times R times by T over 100. So initially her principal is $8,000. The rate is 8%, and the time, well, it's 1 year because we're calculating the interest after each year. So the interest is 8,000 times by 8 times by 1 over 100. So Kina, if we put that into our calculator, earns $640 interest that year. So she now puts that back in. So when we work it out for the next year, we work out our simple interest formula. Our rate is still the same. We're only putting it back in for another year, but our principal is different. Our principal is $8,640. How did I get that? Well, the initial $8,000 plus the $640 that it has grown in simple interest that first year. So she's going to put that back in, and let's work out the interest on that. 8,640 times by 8 times by 1 over 100, and that gives us $691.20 interest. So that's the second year. It says she's going to do this for 3 years. So let's go again. I equals P times by R times by T over 100. So our rate's still 8%. She's only putting it back in for 1 year, but our principal is now $8,640 plus the interest that she has received. So she's now putting $9,331.20 in. So let's substitute in. The interest is the principal times by the rate times by the time over 100. So the interest that she receives in that third year is $746.50. So the question said, how much money does she now have? Well, let's work out what she put in at the start of that third year, the interest that she received. So she now has $9,331.20 plus the interest that she received in the third year. So her money is now worth $10,077.70. So she put $8,000 in for 3 years, and it was compound interest, and how we worked this out was just by applying simple interest each year for 3 years. So her $8,000 has grown to that amount.